All right, this is our final night here at the Newport KOA. We've been here for about 3 weeks, so we've got a pretty good feel for this park. We're about an hour east of Knoxville, so get your shades on now. All right.
It's my $5 5 and below
Nice.
shades.
Well, they're better than my non-shades, so it works for you. So we're going to go ahead and start this. This is our first rating review video of the park, so with that, let's get into it.
Yeah.
We have 7 categories. So we have the connectivity, which is Wi-Fi, LTE, satellite / cable.
Yeah, so the first one is connectivity.
Connectivity. Second one is going to be the RV site itself. So, you know, pulling into the RV site, the levelness of the RV site, where the hookups are all the hookups there? Were they in good shape? Picnic tables, fire rings, things like that. Then we have amenities and facilities, so all your stuff like playgrounds, laundry rooms, the clubhouse overall, any other amenities, dog runs, things like that that'll be on the location. Then we have location and area, so basically everything that's around, like is the proximity of shopping or adventure things that you might want to do, hiking, mountain climbing, canoeing, all that kind of stuff.
Proximity to the interstate.
Interstate, yeah. And then we have the grounds themselves, so basically what the grounds themselves have to offer outside of the amenities facility, so the beauty of the park, the ambiance, noise, all that kind of stuff. And then the staff and the cost would be the next category, so how friendly the staff was, how helpful they were, and the value, not necessarily just the price, but the value that you got for the price you paid. And then we'll have a 10-point subjective score that we'll just independently throw what we think of the park on a scale of 1 to 10. So all the other categories will be rated out of 15, and so we will reach a 100-point total at the end. So starting off with connectivity, Wi-Fi.
I was really surprised when we tried to stream Netflix and we were able to. That's the first time ever that I've been able to do that. Now, I guess before, I'm not sure that we were trying to, but I mean, all of
Well,
the
it was
parks,
a while ago too. I mean,
okay, yeah. So it was like 5 years ago when we were on the road before, and we didn't have. We did have tablets and things of that nature, and we never were able to connect or do anything. It was like we had teenagers. It was a constant issue. And so being able to stream Netflix was a huge surprise, a good surprise. And for that reason, I was excited.
Yeah, and the kids' laptops or iPads work for the most part. Outside of some congestion in the evening hours when everybody starts getting on their streaming services, it was pretty reliable.
And even that was hit or miss.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. And so that was definitely a bonus of this park. Our cell service, on the other hand, was okay at best. Yeah, it was mediocre. So we have Verizon, and we had basically 2 bars almost the whole time. Sometimes she would drop down to 1. Occasionally I would get 3 randomly at different areas of the park, but for the most part it would take a little while for all the pages to load and things like that. So the cell phone service was not great. Cable was good. So they give you a box here with a remote, and then that box has pretty darn good selection. I think it's about 70 channels that show up on the box. Now, negative of this is you can't watch more than one television, use it because you're using a box and it has to plug into the back. So if you did have somebody who wanted to watch something in, you know, the master bedroom or outside the rig, they couldn't do it. So that was.
But this is the first park ever that has given us a box. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And so that brings us to 10.5 out of 15. So not too bad.
No, not too
bad.
shabby.
All right, so next one we got RV sites. Now, for me, nothing in this park is paved, just so you guys know. Everybody knows. It's all gravel. So from when you pull onto the campsite and all the areas you pull up to, everything is just gravel. So if that bothers you, just know that that's the case. There's no paved or concrete pad for your picnic tables on the RV sites. With that said, everything was in good shape. Had no issues with any of the electrical. The sewer inlets were all in good proximity of where the rig needs to be parked. Same with the water supply. and water pressure is good. It does come with a fire ring and a picnic table. Both are slightly dated. The fire ring's got some holes rusting through it and things like that, but it's functional. It has everything you need. So we've been to places before that didn't even have a fire ring, and we were kind of bummed out we couldn't even have a fire. So that was definitely a good plus here. Most of them, the whole park is a little bit slanted down towards the roadside you come in on. So some of the sites, aren't perfectly level. If you have an auto leveling system, not a huge deal. I haven't been able to get our rig perfectly level since we've been here. I'm a little off kilter. The auto leveling system didn't want to cooperate. But other than that, I mean, there's no challenges getting into the campsite itself. A couple branches were overhanging in our way. I had to take it slow. But we have a tall rig. We're 13 and a half feet. So I don't think most people would have any problem whatsoever. And the approach to the sites were easy. We've got 44-foot overall length with an F350 in front. So we're pretty long, and we didn't have any problems coming up. So overall, I thought the RV sites were pretty good. If there's anything else I missed here, hookups were all good, tables, yep. So overall, I gave it 11 out of 15. So that's a pretty good score on the RV site side. Then there's the amenities and facilities. What do you think?
I thought everything was just sort of, adequate. This park was not our first choice. We wanted to be closer to Cades Cove. That was our first choice, and it was completely booked. The other option would have been Gatlinburg, and again, completely booked. And so, as far as this place goes, it was a nice surprise. It was,
So it has a dog park.
Mm-hmm.
Dog park is minimalistic. I think is the right word for it. Yeah, I mean, most of the things are minimalistic. The playground equipment is fairly old, but there's a playground here.
Yeah.
So there is a place for the kids to play.
And there was a lot of space over there, so they had room to run.
There's a field on the other side there of the playground, so they could just go run around. The dog could run around, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's definitely the space there. The laundry room was good. I mean, the dryers were commercial dryers. There's like a quarter each time for every 10 minutes, and they dried really well. I didn't have to spend $2 and then pull out clothes that weren't dry. So you just add another quarter, 10 minutes. And I think even when I stuffed the washer and then threw that stuff in the dryer, actually took a double load and threw it in that dryer. And in 40 minutes, it was all bone dry, and then it had towels and everything else. So the laundry was good. It's $2 for the washing machines, which is pretty standard, and then 25 cents for every 10 minutes in the dryer. Restrooms are dated. Everything's basically just dated on this park, but the restrooms were clean. The showers all worked fine, good water pressure and all that stuff. So no complaints with those. They do service propane, I think from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. 7 days a week. So that's pretty awesome that you don't have to worry about trying to fill up on a Friday. And I think that's pretty much it for the clubhouse. Was, pretty standard KOA clubhouse, I would say.
There's a pavilion here to rent.
Yeah, there's a pavilion with about 4 or 5 picnic tables in it, and we saw somebody having a birthday party or some kind of get-together there.
Yeah, some sort of get-together.
So all that stuff is pretty good. Like I said, everything is here. There's just, there's some updating that could be done. So overall with that, I did give it a 9 out of 15 because everything is here, but I feel like certainly it's time to update some stuff. Location and area is the next category, and we're not really close to that much. So there's 4 KOAs that are in a closer proximity to getting into the Smoky Mountains. So some are like right at the mouth. I think there's 2 of them that are like right there. Basically, you pull out of them, you take a left, and you're in the Smokies in one of the national park entrances. And those were all booked up. We didn't plan that far ahead on this trip. So you do have to drive probably a good 25-30 minutes to get into some of those same desired areas that you could get to much quicker from those other KOAs. There is a Walmart and a Lowe's nearby, and a couple gas stations. Other than that, not much though. So you're about an hour from Knoxville, and then on the other, you're on we're on the east side of Knoxville. On the west side of Knoxville is generally where all the really good shopping is. So if you like Whole Foods or Costco, or want to go to the movies and all that kind of stuff, Turkey Creek is over that way, about 15 minutes west of Knoxville, and that's where...
Turkey Creek.
Yeah, Turkey Creek's got everything. Every store you could possibly imagine. So your Targets and all that stuff, you might want to go to a Petco if that's where you get your pet food from. All that's on that side. So it will take, a little over an hour to get over to Turkey Creek. So here in Food City is their local grocery here. It's a really basic grocery store. I mean, probably equivalent to like your average Kroger or a lower end Publix maybe. There's if you like to eat healthier, there's not a ton of options now.
Are you talking about Food City?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm talking about Food City. So I mean, it's if you really just eat whatever and you're not that kind of family, it's got a bunch of allergies or doesn't like to eat in a specific way, then you shouldn't have any problems with Food City. That's about 10 minutes away.
Didn't you find a couple things though, like our organic juices were cheaper, right? Or
they were on sale. I think probably because no one buys them there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a couple things there, and like I said, your typical gas stations and things of that nature obviously are nearby.
Mm-hmm.
There is a Chevy dealership right up the road as well. So if you did need to get some maintenance done or work on your vehicle, you could get it done there. It's only about 5 minutes up the road. So other than that, though. There's not a lot of like high desirable things that are super close by, and also it what else was it that we were trying to look for? Oh, positive is that it's really close to the highway, positive and negative. So as you can see, if you're worried about places that are close to the highway, you're just swinging in for a night or two, it is literally right there. So it's super easy to access the park. So I gave it an 8 out of 15. So kind of an average score on that one. And let's see, what's next is the grounds themselves. So you have an opinion on the campground itself?
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought that we already did that.
No, you started commenting on it, that's why I cut you off. Because I was talking about amenities and facilities.
Amenities and facilities is different
than the grounds.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me remind you what you said?
I guess so, yeah.
So the negative on the grounds, so basically grounds would be like the beauty, the ambiance, the things you can look at from the campsite.
The
aesthetics, exactly. Right. So the highway is basically 24/7. You can hear it when you're outside.
I mean, in my opinion, that is one of the only downfalls. This place has, the basics of everything that you need. I mean, it isn't the place that you're going to go to for the family vacation, right? You're going to head out to the more, the premium sites.
Yeah, the more touristy areas, yeah.
But
probably planning far ahead in advance for your family vacation.
Be gentle. But the fact is that, when we first pulled in here, it was downright magical with the leaves falling.
This time of year was really pretty.
So, as I was saying, it's downright magical, and it was just really lovely. We were at the site where we're surrounded by trees, and it was just a postcard in your mind that you imagine of fall.
I think the best way you said it was they maximized what they had, because you're not in a national park or a state park overlooking some pond or lake or mountain range or river.
Yeah, it's just.
But for what they have, they did a really good job. I mean, if it wasn't for the highway noise, it would be really peaceful.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so. So considering that it doesn't have any, spectacular views or things like that, we did give it a 10 out of 15 because they do a good job with what they've got here. And this time of year was pretty awesome to come here and just see all the colors change. So the next category we have is staff and pricing. So we'll start with the staff. The staff was basically pretty awesome from the start. We pulled up here. I couldn't get one of my awnings all the way extended. I said, hey, we're going to be here for a few weeks. Like, it'd be really nice to get this thing covering the whole porch. And they came out here within like 20 minutes, and we worked on cutting down a limb off this tree so we could do that. Every time I've gone there, whether it's to do laundry and get quarters, or we extended our stay a few nights, so I've been down there a couple times, adding another night to the reservation, getting firewood, things like that. they've always had somebody there and ready to help basically immediately. I haven't had to wait on anybody, and they're there pretty late. They're there till 7. So a lot of times you'll see people cut out at 5 and can't find anybody. So I would say the staff has been super friendly and very helpful. And price for what you get, I think the price is on the good side. We paid, after taxes of course, we paid maybe $46 a night, I think is what we were averaging since we've been here. And this time of year, compare that with the KOAs that are closer to the Gatlinburg entrances to the Smoky Mountains. Those were running for the same, considered site. They were running twice that. So, if you wanted to be a little more frugal or didn't plan ahead to get into one of those parks, I think it's fair price for sure.
Definitely. I think if we were just headed out for a week or so, though, like I said, we would want to, get into one of those premium sites to have the water right there and to be right there and then in the middle of everything. But I certainly didn't mind the drive. And, or the savings. Yeah. Right?
I agree with you. And also they pick up trash.
Yeah. Yes.
They come by your site and pick up trash every day at 11 a.m. So that's, another bonus that you get. You just put it right outside your front of your campsite here and they swing on by with a golf cart and pick it up for you. So total on staff and price, I gave it 12 out of 15. I thought it was really good. All right, so the last category is our subjective score, and this is out of 10, so it had the least amount of weight. But overall, what's your subjective score, your opinion?
I thought we had the same one.
We did, but I'm asking you because it's now on a video.
Okay, right. So I felt like, I think we've kind of covered this briefly, but I felt like, in this area, you're going to have the people who are coming out for, a family vacation. They're going to be out for a week or 2 weeks, and they're going to want the premium site. We came out here to visit family. We actually ended up here by accident because we didn't plan ahead, and the place that was closest to my sister was booked up for the remainder of the season on the weekends, which turned out to be a blessing in disguise.
Yes,
we weren't a huge fan of that park, and so this became a viable option, and it just kind of fit all of our needs. No, it wasn't one of the premium sites, but it's very, very functional and has just about everything that we needed for our trip. And it's been very comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's been lovely. I mean, the only real drawback is the fact that we are right next to the highway and I'm listening to cars. If that wasn't here, I would have given it a better score. But being that it is right there, I had to give it a 6.
Yeah, I'm there with her for that reason, and just it's a little older. It's a little more dated. Some of the other KOAs and stuff that we've experienced have had just better playground equipment or better dog walk, dog run. Just things are just newer. With that being said, everything still is here, so I did give it a 6 out of 10.
Totally workable.
I think it's completely fair, especially for somebody in our situation where basically we're like, where are we going to stay? Because apparently this is fall tourist season up here.
Which we had no idea about.
Yeah, we should have known, but it was which was my fault. And so we were scrambling, and then we found this place, so we were very grateful for it. And
very
like
grateful.
I said, they've been very nice, very accommodating, and haven't had one issue with being here. It's really been good. So overall, the score for this place is a 66.5 out of 100. So pretty decent score.
I mean, I feel like that's a D, but it doesn't deserve a D. I feel like it deserves something better than that. But
well, with the way that this is categorized, it's going to be almost impossible for something to get 100 or a 90, even a 95, because some place that blows your socks off is probably not going to have great cell service or Wi-Fi. Because it's a lot of things.
I would come back here in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I would definitely say that this is a C place, and if we were rating it a little differently, I might even say that it's a B, just because it doesn't have the natural, beautiful ambiance that you would look for in a place that you're headed out for a couple of weeks. But as a full-time traveler, this place is quite functional and very nice.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think if we come across a park that's like an 83 or an 84, that place is just going to blow us away.
Right.
That's going to be a really, really, really nice park. So that's one reason, 66 might seem a little bit hard on it, but I think something in the 80s is going to be a spectacular park, and I wanted to leave that room for improvement when we do go to some place that is just next level.
Then how do you ever get to 100?
You don't. You don't.
Okay.
You don't ever get to 100.
Okay.
There's no way. There's no perfection in this world.
Yeah.
So that is the Newport KOA here east of Tennessee. And we're wrapping up our stay. It's lovely.
Yeah, it's
we're wrapping up our stay here after 3 weeks.
Yeah, come on out here and check it out, especially in the fall. It's very, very pretty.
It is great fall colors. Absolutely. We're very grateful to be here and not in Florida during the fall. That's for sure.
Save a few dollars and head on over to Kate's Cove and all of the beautiful parks and the Smoky Mountains and have a great time.
Yep, absolutely. All right.